Game number 2 of the day here at University High. The TAPS 4A state semifinals in the South region. Brentwood Christian School out of Austin. St. Thomas Episcopal out of Houston, number 1 and number 7 in the state rankings. The number 1 ranked Saints, 25-6 on the year, 8-0. The number 1 seed out of TAPS District 4, Brentwood Christian, the number 1 seed out of District 3, squaring off for the right to face Grace Prep in the championship game tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. across town at Robinson High. Mike Leslie, Earl Garland, David Zimmerman back with you here on TAPS TV. Gentlemen, another good matchup. We saw a great game to start the day. Now the nooner features the number 1 team in the state. Your thoughts?
Here we are. We were looking at one another like, okay, who's going?
We almost broke Earl. We almost broke him.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of talent in this game. It's going to be fun to watch. And certainly Grace Prep will probably have their work cut out for them. It looks to me like both of these teams have more size than they do, but they do have Daniels. So we'll see. This is going to be a great game.
I'm blown away by the size right now of this St. Thomas team. I mean, they are very, very big. You know, we looked at the semifinal earlier and the game against, Grace Prep and Lubbock, and these two teams are giants compared to that earlier game.
And plus, it looks like St. Thomas will come off the bench with at least a bit of size, so that's in their favor.
Vladimir Vitrotsky to start in the middle for St. Thomas Episcopal, a late change. Blake Petty to jump center opposite him. Deke Jones, our crew chief, to throw the basketball in the air momentarily. Dustin Ray, Josh Williams, our other 2 officials. St. Thomas's starters, Mosley, Felkman, Law, the 2 Law brothers, and Vitrotsky. Gachana out there as well. So it's Vitrotsky for Mosley, I believe, the late change. Zaley, Petty, Allen, McLean, and Zerlinski, the starters for Brentwood Christian. And it will be the Bears in the blacks to start with possession. Marcus Zaley, 21 a game, the leading scorer for Brentwood Christian. St. Thomas Episcopal fellas coming out with heavy pressure and trapping, but it leads to a corner 3 for Colston Allen.
Penetration, dish, and shot. Really well done.
St. Thomas Episcopal, a very successful season, even despite dealing with some injuries. Their head coach, Chris Twine, said he feels like they've only had 5 or 6 games all year where they've had their full complement. The layup there for Kachana, rolled off the front iron, 3 from Zaley. Quickly up ahead, Aiden Law. Into the contact, offensive foul.
You know what I love? Nobody's ever accused me of being the fashion icon, but I love the old school St. Thomas jerseys. In a day and age where everybody's trying to put too much on jerseys, that's more of your basic jersey right there. I like that.
Simple. White unis, blue pants, alternating piping, blue or white on the 2, and just Saints across the front. Very simple. Down the baseline, the layup off the glass won't go for Zerlinski.
The old cliche, how you play, not how you look, right?
Brentwood Christian, the number 7 ranked team in the state, the number 1 seed out of District 3, overcame some adversity in their own right, lots of injuries. Nathan Law, too easy to the tin, and it's 3-2.
If I remember right, Law was a beast last year in this semifinal and final game. What a powerful move to the bucket.
That's a foul on the shot, and that's going to go against Aiden Law as well, and he's got 2 fouls a minute and 14 seconds into the basketball game. The Law brothers, Aiden, a junior, getting plenty of college interest in his own right. The older brother, Nathan, a senior, committed to play at UTRGV. But Aiden Law is going to have to play with 2 fouls here for, it would seem, an extended stretch because they are not taking him out right now. 2 for 2 at the stripe for Zaley, and a 5-2 start for the Bears.
I've never liked it playing with 2 fouls. I know Coach agrees with me, but clearly they need them.
Nathan Law short off the glass. Gachana, though, leads to the turnover. Law to Law, and a foul on the floor. It'll go on Colston Allen.
You're already going to do this to me, Mike. Law to Law, the law firm of Law to Law.
They are both terrific, terrific basketball players. Nathan Law underneath, lays it in. Quickly up the floor, the run out for Colton McLean.
What a great way to run the lane, and what a pass.
Law's got all 4 of his team's points so far. He turns it over here. Zaley pulls it up, fires the 3. Gachana threw it away. Zaley got his hands on it, but then right back, and then another steal. And finally, it ends in a layup for Zachary Zerlinski.
We thought Lubbock Christian was fast with transition. This Brentwood team's taking it to a whole nother level.
I think both teams do. St. Francis hadn't had, or St. Thomas hadn't had enough opportunity to run as much as Brentwood has.
The previous semi was low scoring. I don't think we're going to have to worry about that one today, boys.
This was going to get up into the 60s, I'm pretty sure.
9-4 here in the early going in favor of Brentwood Christian. These two teams played. Nice look underneath. The layup for Vetroshki. They played back in December, a game that was won by St. Thomas Episcopal by 3, but they were without 3 of their best players, including Noah Richards, who's been working his way back from injury. We will see him at some point today. The layup blown by Dylan Felkman. And here comes Zaley once again. Nice finish.
Wow.
This kid's a sophomore, and he's got the body of a grown man. I cannot believe this kid's only a sophomore.
Already approaching 1,500 points for his career. Nate Law with the answer. He's got 6 in the early going.
And, Coach Carr told us that last year he played the shooting guard, and now he's transitioned to a point guard and has picked it up very well.
He can play any position for me, fellas.
Yeah.
Dustin Carr, the third-year head coach at Brentwood Christian. That one rolls right off the front of the rim. Blake Petty couldn't get that one to nestle in for him. Another turnover created. Colston Allen with the steal. Petty nearly threw that one away. Nice catch on the near side by McLean.
Oh, wow.
Marcus Zaley getting tangled up there, able to get around Mosley. Yep. Offensive foul.
Out of control. Really great athletic ability, but out of control on that play.
Perhaps, maybe, guys, that's where the sophomore mentality comes into play. You can get away with all of it, but as the game rolls on, you're going to get more tired. And that doesn't just mean physically, it means mentally, and you start to make mistakes. He's got to be careful.
Yeah. And again, we've talked about it in Agnosia. The jump stop jumper would have been very helpful to avoid that charge.
Gachana can't get it to roll home for him. Bryson Best just checking into the game for Brentwood Christian. More hounding defense from Gachana. Forced him to pick up his dribble. Now the steal. Mosley behind the back for Gachana in the lay-in.
Pete Maravich would be proud.
My jaw dropped. My jaw dropped, guys. That was unbelievable.
Now a whistle. It will stay Brentwood Christian ball, and they can run the baseline. St. Thomas Episcopal bringing a good bit of pressure here in the early going. Zaley picked up his dribble, had it tipped away, chased down by McLean. Baseline drive into the lane, the little dump off. The top shot won't go for McLean.
That was a great pass.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the kid.
Kachana with a head of steam and draws a foul.
Well, Kachana is incredibly quick. Incredibly quick. Yeah, guys, these two teams are at a whole nother level of what we just saw.
Kachana, the district defensive player of the year in TAPS 4A District 4. They had the defensive player of the year, the offensive player of the year in Aiden Law, and the district MVP in Nathan Law. Kachana hits the first to knot us up at 11.
Sounds to me like a plethora of spoils and depth.
Chris Twine, their head coach. Dustin Carr said he thinks he's one of the best coaches in the state, coaching a team that's got the most talent in the state. He knew, hey, we're up against a significant opponent today.
Has there ever been a more appropriate name for a coach than Twine in a basketball game?
Zaley, back iron, a travel on the rebound.
If you're not a basketball coach with Twine as your last name, you got to find a different profession. You have to be a basketball coach.
You could open a clothes manufacturing plant.
Tell you what, with the suit he's rocking today, he could open up a clothes manufacturing plant. Nice move. The layup goes for Felkman. That's off the leg, I think. Oh, they'll say it stays Brentwood Christian ball. I wasn't sure that didn't go off of Zaley's leg.
Yeah, but that's in lieu of calling the foul.
Yes. We talked about that a bit yesterday, how often that can be employed by the officials to have the same net result but keep the foul totals down.
Gerard Mosley is just running a defensive clinic trying to stay in front of Zaley right now.
Zaley made a great move to split the defense but missed the 16-footer. Kachana up ahead. Law lowers his shoulder.
I don't like that call. I thought that was great defense, keeping his feet walling up.
Yeah, I thought that was a no call. Just let him play.
Yeah. The foul goes on Colston Allen. That's already the fourth foul of the period on Brentwood Christian. 2:04 to play in this opening quarter. 14-11 St. Thomas Episcopal with the advantage. Right now on an 8-0 run to flip this game upside down on Brentwood Christian. Looking to add to it. Mosley can't hit the triple.
Good box outs.
Caleb Catron on the floor for the first time today. Petty across the lane. Best
Nice
able to
left
finish.
hand. Nice left hand.
I got to tell you, I felt so honored that Coach Twine just ran an inbounds play that he and I share.
Law down the lane. Tangled up. Jump ball. Good defense. It'll stay on this end. Possession arrow favors St. Thomas.
I know it's early, but did that look like a travel to anyone else when he initially took that step? But maybe I missed it.
I don't know.
Okay.
I wasn't
Borderline, yeah.
I'm watching the defense.
Mosley, baseline jumper, well short. And here comes Zaley. Up ahead, Catron. Back to Zaley for the lay-in.
Beautiful.
Marcus Zaley with 6 of his team's 15 first quarter points. And Brentwood Christian seesaws back in front with 4 quick ones. Law for 3. All the way down the floor, coast to coast for Blake Petty.
That's just not very good transition defense. You can't let a guy go full court dribble for a layup. He's got to stop the ball somewhere.
Knocked out of bounds, last touched by St. Thomas.
Zaley doing it on both ends. You love to see it, offense and defense.
And I'm really enjoying the battle right now between Zaley and Gerard Mosley. not just from a basketball perspective, but also a little chirping. And just as I say that, here comes Deke Jones, our crew chief, to say, hey, fellas, let's play some ball.
Once again, the prophet, Mike Leslie.
Under a minute to play. I think to call me a prophet has to go under the heading of sacrilege, right? 35 seconds left in the period. Down 3, St. Thomas going to work. Law through the lane.
Wow.
Galloping for 2.
He has great footwork, Coach.
Yes, he does. And he's quick. I mean, there's not a slow guy out there.
Final 20 seconds. Petty, cross court, wide open in the corner for 3. Buried by Catron. 6 seconds. Mosley. Can't finish. Tipped out. 1.1 in the quarter.
That's a great job by the third official.
Yep.
That clearly went out off of Brentwood, and he came in and corrected the call.
He was, we talked about, I've talked about it several times, how the crews have done a good job of working together, and that's really essential to have a good officiating crew.
Law for 3 at the buzzer, front iron. 20-16 after 1. Taps 4A state semifinal. Brentwood Christian with the lead. Buckle in for this one. This is fun already on Taps TV. Back at University High. Second quarter ready to get underway. Brentwood Christian to have the first possession of this second period. In the lead by 4, 20-16. Jake Elvin, their sixth man, just into the game. The throwaway right to Felkman. He'll lay it in, and the foul. A disastrous start to the period for the Bears.
I know this is sacrilegious, guys, but in a day-to-day of DraftKings and FanDuels and all the betting going on, I hope you took the over.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of points in this one for sure.
I don't even know what that means.
He's talking about gambling.
Oh, I have never gambled, ever.
That's why you're in such a good place.
You want to gamble on the pros? Be my guest. Let's not gamble on high school basketball.
And you really have a problem.
I gambled on getting married, and we've been married 51 years. So
there you go.
It worked out.
I really
doubled down on
lessons.
that one. 1 point game off the 3-point play from Felkman to start the period. Now a foul on Gachana.
Did he make both?
He made one. It was the Dan one.
That's right. Thank you, Mike. I was questioning whether I missed. I'm trying to chart all the free throws and have it right, and so I'd missed that was an N1.
We will have the Taps free throw report for you later on today. The floater from Zaley will rattle in.
He is absolutely a legit D1 prospect.
Oh, yeah.
There is no question.
Yep.
Just a sophomore and terrific.
Yeah, the only thing that might hurt him is size.
Nice look post to post and patience on the lay-in from Sellers.
And as a sophomore, you just got to hope, right, Earl, he can grow a couple more inches, but he's got the body frame, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, the body's already there. In fact, his body could get a good bit larger and stronger.
Mosley had the steal. Now it's on the floor. Law able to dribble his way up with it.
Wow.
Mosley's going to pop the three and connect. Gerard Mosley with the triple.
And then picks him up full court. I am loving this battle. Mosley and Zaley.
Petty breaks the press and hands off for Zaley. Zaley double team, dribbles right around it. Nice feed underneath. The shot affected by Sellers.
Man, that kid can see the floor. He's a point guard plus.
Mosley for three, looking for another one. Here comes Zaley. Underneath,
Nice
lay in for Best.
I'm sweating watching Zaley go to work, and he's not sweating.
We've had the pleasure of seeing some really good basketball players in this Tap State tournament over the years. Three-pointer hit by Vatrochki from straight away. But very quickly, the sophomore Marcus Zaley is climbing that list. Nice feed on the back door, the lay-in for Best. He's got four straight.
So I'm just going to make an observation. If you can play wide open basketball and you don't have to run your sets, I don't know what's wrong with that.
Three in the corner, long.
Right,
if
you can get it out of primary, if you can get it out of your primary break. But as a coach, this is killing me at times. But as a spectator and a fan, I'm loving this game.
Best, another lay-in. Back in front goes Brentwood Christian. Timeout, Chris Twine.
I'm going to have to confess that in my coaching career, I've had teams that play like this, and I'm sure I was criticized for not having an offense and all this and that. Well, if you play great defense and turn people over, you don't need a great offense. That is your offense.
I agree. 100%, Coach. I'm telling you, you guys are going to have to bring me some oxygen over here because these guys are flying.
I'm running out of paper on my notepad keeping this running score. I may not make it through this game with what I've got left on this pad. They are racking it up today.
Mike Leslie, for those who can't see this at home, he looks like he's calling the game and doing his income taxes all at the same time with the amount of paper he's got out here off the table.
You know, back to the wide open play. I mean, there's design into that. People running the lanes, knowing where they're running, your teammates seeing the open play. I mean, there's a lot of design to that. It may look like hully-gully, but I don't really look at it that way. I look at Tate Thomas. I mean, they'll make two passes up the sideline, and they're down in the corner already.
Yeah, it was always a big mistake, right? People would watch the great Phi Slamma-Jamma teams, some of the great transition teams like Loyola, and think, oh, they're just out there playing pickup or the Fab Five. No, it's structured primary break transit.
One of the most successful coaches in the history of the game, Roy Williams, in his secondary break. It all has scheme to it. Law draws the foul inside.
I have watched that championship production DVD on Roy Williams' secondary break. I cannot tell you hundreds of times. Still can't get my team to execute it the way that Roy can.
Law misses the first free throw. Nathan Law, an 82% free throw shooter, but misses the first.
I like what Law did there. Step off the line.
1 for 2, and it's a tie game.
Kind of my personal rule shooting free throws was, and I've told the players that too, is if you make it, stay at the line. If you don't, step away.
4:54, second quarter, 28 all. And here comes Zaley. Double teamed, dribbles right around it.
Wow, what a move.
Zerlinski.
Wow, what a move.
And he looked so unsure the last couple of finishes. There was nothing unsure about that.
I know. That was very confident.
Law for the answer.
Right back at you.
Zorlinski again. Up top, the three for McLean. Offense was so hard to come by in the first game. This one's a clinic offensively. Corner three, Law, the answer.
I guess the rims are okay, fellas.
Yeah. Better than they were the first game.
Another triple try. That one connects, and the foul.
Don't blink. Don't blink. You'll miss something spectacular.
Colston Allen to the line for a fourth. And a chance to grow the lead.
And something else that I love, the ball is rarely touching the ground. This is some great passing and ball movement to get these open shots.
Yeah, like I said, there's more design to picking up full court and running up and down the floor than people are given credit for.
The 4-point play for Colston Allen. Right back comes St. Thomas, but the layup is blown by Felkman. He chases down the rebound, though. Law down the lane.
Goodness gracious.
Are we sure he's not from Europe? Because that was a beautiful Euro step move.
Like Gumby down the lane. This takeaway now by Felkman. Tipped out of bounds. Saints basketball.
I don't like the Euro step, but that's just an old school guy. I think it's traveling. And years ago it was. Let's be honest.
And in international, right, Coach? They're giving him even an extra step, a third step.
Yeah, well, it's all about exciting the fans. Look
to the 10 to tie the game for Aiden Law.
Somebody take a charge.
I do think the defense is digressing a little bit in the open. There's got to be some fatigue at this pace.
That one misses short. A travel is going to get called on Mosley here.
Rebound, turn, look, dribble last. He just rebounded and put it right on the floor and got himself in a pickle. Turned it over.
Zaley bounces it up top for Gavin Martinez just into the game.
I love those traps off of the corner inbounds plays. I absolutely love it.
Taken off the backboard by Sellers.
There it is.
Tipped from behind,
Tipped
though.
away.
The steal by McLean. Up ahead. Zerlinski didn't realize how open he was, but still finishes.
Beautiful left hand.
Zielinski's reminding me, guys, of an old school basketball player. The footwork, the finishing, I'm loving it.
The mullet.
The mullet. Yeah,
He's got it flowing, man.
What about the fact, though, that he's a sophomore? This kid's a sophomore, and he's already got that footwork. Somebody has coached that young man very well.
No kidding. Timeout, Chris Twine with his team down a deuce. 2:18 left in this second quarter. Fellas, the final score of our first game today between Grace Prep and Trinity Christian was 48-39. It's not off the table that we outscore that in the first half in this one.
Yep. I think it's very possible that we will.
I haven't had my first cup of coffee yet this morning as I settled for the tea, but let me tell you, this is as good as any cup of coffee I've ever had this first half. And it's like Coach said, this isn't an all-star game, right? It's not just – there is hard defense being played, incredible footwork being used out there. Right now, there are just times the offense is better than the defense.
Yeah.
Marcus Zaley, Nathan Law, these two basketball teams like 200 milligrams of caffeine right to your veins. Gachana in the middle for Vetrotsky. Had it stripped away. It'll stay here. The Brentwood Christian fans wanted to travel there.
Yeah, that wasn't a travel.
They switched to a zone on that. I think that's the first time we've seen them play that in half court.
Gachana on the block. Double team, finishes through it anyway to tie the game.
See, look at that. That's design right there. I mean, that's beautiful.
Bears break the press, but then picking up his dribble, and that's a 5-second call.
And a note, by the way, Zaley off of the court for the first time in the game. Coach giving him a breather. Great move.
We'll see how that impacts Brentwood Christian here. Minute 52 on the clock right now. We'll see how long Dustin Carr keeps him off the floor. Gachana right down the lane, lost it, got it back, nearly finished anyway. Timeout, Dustin Carr. 1:42 on the clock in the second quarter. We'll step aside here from University High. .102 seconds left in quarter number 2. 39 all our score. Brentwood Christian with possession at a timeout, and very quickly Marcus Zaley back on the floor. Tipped away. Mosley nearly stole it. Zaley able to scramble back on top of it.
You know what this is reminding me of? Good old Buddy in Hoosiers. It was Dentine. He is going to be able to tell you what gum he's chewing, what flavor it is after this game. He is right up on him.
That was a double dribble.
No call. The shot missed, tipped out of bounds. It will be St. Thomas Episcopal ball. They tried to get Nathan Law on the floor.
Yeah, that comes from our kids playing summer ball, and they can just run in and out without too much control, and then they get here, and it's like, oh, can't do that.
Oh, there are rules.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Gachana left it short. Zaley had it tipped away. Law with the steal. Gachana up ahead to lay it in. St. Thomas Episcopal with the lead. First time since 27-26. Zaley drew the foul. Mosley has been hounding him.
I'll tell you what I like about Zaley. He doesn't really get fazed about anything. He's just going about his business.
Something to note that I noticed on that one, guys, Gachana seems to only really want to finish to the left. And he's had some problems on the right. See if that comes into effect as the game moves on.
Yep.
Now Gachana gets called for the foul.
Yep, that was a foul.
Caleb Catron happy to help the officials out and point out the infraction there from Gachana.
He's a next level athlete, Gachana. This kid, I guarantee he plays multiple sports.
The defensive player of the year in the district. Another foul, and again Catron happy to assist the officials and point out the foul.
And that sends him to the line, Coach and Mike. That's a big foul right there.
Yeah, there's only 39 seconds left, though.
Give Caleb Catron a pair of stripes. He was a fourth official there for a couple of sequences. McLean to the free throw line and gets the roll.
Nothing drives me crazier than free throw shooters who don't hold that follow through until the ball goes through the basket. Don't cheat your shot, especially when it's so pretty.
McLean, an 87% free throw shooter, hits them both. Tied again.
Clock's not running.
The score is also incorrect. It should be 41-41.
I think your buddy on Brentwood, he's going to fix the clock too right now, Mike.
41 all. Now they need to fix the clock because now it reads 0 seconds. 36 is what they'll put up there.
That sounds about right.
Dustin Ray, our official, helping out the scorer's table, and now we're ready to continue. Cross court. Vatrochki for three, misses long. Dustin Carr with one finger in the air says hold for the last shot. Zaylee nearly threw it away. I don't know how there wasn't any call there with a lot of contact. It will stay Brentwood Christian possession.
I was about to say another horrible mistake fouling in the bonus, but he didn't get it called on him.
Dustin Carr pleading his case. Couple subs coming on here for these final 10.1 seconds. It will be a sideline inbound for Brentwood.
And I can tell you, Mike, the Brentwood crowd is letting their unhappiness known behind us on that lack of a call.
10.1 in the period in a tie game. Petty gives it off. Underneath, but right through the legs of Zerlinski.
Shoot the ball. You're in the paint. Shoot the ball.
4.9 seconds. St. Thomas Episcopal will have to go the length of the floor.
Good move. Good move by Coach Carr.
It'll come into Felkman. Hands back to Nathan Law with two. Law across the timeline. The floater at the buzzer rolls off the rim.
I was about to say they have fouls to give. Will they burn one? And they didn't, and it almost cost them. They escaped Brentwood, but I would have used a foul there with fouls to give.
Well, Law could have taken the jump stop jumper and probably put it in because he's got a nice shot. Instead, we go to that floater.
Nothing burns Earl Garland more than a floater.
Two things, the Euro step and the floater.
41 all, our tally at halftime. A tie game in the 4A state semifinal, our second of the day. Winner faces Grace Prep tomorrow morning for a championship. Still a lot to sort out here at University High. Third quarter when we return here on TAPS TV. back in Waco. Third quarter ready to get underway here on TAPS TV. 4A state semifinals, Brentwood Christian and St. Thomas Episcopal. Mike Leslie, Earl Garland, David Zimmerman back with you. 41 all as we start the third. And a foul just 14 seconds in. Felds, what did you like about the first half?
I like the up and down. I'm a fan of up and down basketball.
Yeah, the tempo, coach, was absolutely riveting, fantastic. 82 points combined between the two teams. Something of note here, that foul late in the last minute against Kinshana was his third.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize it until I went and checked the book at halftime. He has 3 fouls. They're going to have to sit him for a while to start this, and he, without a doubt, was one of their most impactful defenders.
Agreed. I think maybe him getting the third foul probably shocked the coach as well.
Law crashing through the lane, can't finish. Loose on the deck, it's going to be a travel on Bryson Best.
That's a jump ball. You got to reward effort.
Off the inbound pass, it comes into Vetrotsky.
That was a great setup right there. 35 got a little bit confused. They were trying to set up the shot for number 12 on St. Thomas, and it would have been a beautiful wide open look, but the post 35 got confused on set.
We talked with Dustin Carr before the game, guys, about the difficult task they had in front of them to be in a tie game 41 all. They've executed a lot of their game plan to this point. What do they need to do to keep it rolling?
Go ahead, Dave.
I think that every stop that you get in this basketball game is going to be monumental with the way these two teams are scoring. And right there was an opportunity, right? Had they boxed out initially, they would have been able to get a stop. They didn't, and now you're down 3 just like that.
Boy, they were letting a lot of hands. Goodness, both hands, 2 hands again.
Zaley had it tipped, and it's a turnover. Felkman comes away with the steal. Up ahead, Mosley traveled with it.
That's a great call by the official.
Yep. See, but I don't know how that's different than the Euro step. That's my point. That's why I don't like the Euro step, because they allow that and then they don't allow that. What's the difference?
It's a really fair point, Coach. It's a very fair point.
Foul at the midcourt line on Felkman.
That's why, again, I think that stops are a premium right now. Every stop you get is going to pay dividends in this game. And I think we're going to find that if a team can get a 5 and 8-0 run, I mean, that could be the difference.
The trap here in the corner. Zaley fires it way over the top. Underneath. Zerlinski lays it in.
He's got every trick in the book.
Zerlinski's he's a very crafty player, no doubt about it.
He's the Houdini of TAPS 4A basketball.
He has been something else this afternoon.
I tell you what I'm interested in is his foot angles on defense. He plays a real angle, high foot, and I always teach my players attack the high foot. In other words, go across the high foot to attack the basket. But he does a good job of keeping the ball in front of him. I don't know how he does it.
That is 3, gentlemen. That is 3rd foul on Gerard Mosley. And he's going to let him play, but that matchup between him and Zaley continues to be something to watch.
We made the comment a moment ago about the fact that they were letting some hand checking go, and all of a sudden they've tightened that up a little bit. Couple quick calls.
There it is again. 2 hands on. I mean, I can't believe they're letting that go.
Mosley with the steal, but throws it right back. Zerlinski, baseline, pump fakes.
No
call.
Oh, my God.
Out of bounds to St. Thomas.
What a great move.
Marcus Marcus Zaley just turned and looked at Dustin Ray, the official, with a hand on his hip like, really, bro? You ain't got to call any of those fouls.
I want to point something out. This is the first time tonight that St. Thomas is going to play without Mosley and Gachana on the floor at the same time because of foul trouble. How big of an impact is that going to have?
Who checks Zaley in that scenario? We'll find out on the other end of the floor. Nathan Law to the 10.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is fantastic. 3-point lead. Here comes Zaley like a blur up the floor. A block.
You just got your answer, Mike. No one. I don't know if anyone can check Zaley without fouling him and sending him to the line.
Nobody that's on the floor right now.
Well, you were saying about, the two St. Thomas players being on the bench. I think it's as long as the two Laws are out there, they're okay.
Offensively, I think you're right. Defensively is what I'm more concerned about for St. Thomas. But
yeah, that could be true, yeah.
Zaley misses the first free throw, though. 70% free throw shooter. You imagine as the sophomore gets older and more mature, that number will certainly go up.
He's got to get that way up for the next level.
Oh for 2. Timeout, Chris Twine. 4:51, third quarter, 46-43 our. Back at University High, 4:51 here in quarter number 3. A 3-point lead for the number 1 team in the state, St. Thomas Episcopal, looking for their 26th win of the year and a berth in the championship game. Chris Twine's club with possession out of the timeout. Noah Richards, one of their most talented players, but has battled injury a lot of this year, coming off the bench today, in the game right now. Law dumps it off. What a find, and Vetrotsky lays it in.
That was a great pass.
Unbelievable pass.
Petty racing down floor. That one hit off the bottom side of the backboard, and they're going to say offensive foul on Petty.
See, that's where the half moon would help a lot, because that's a no call where that is. So far into the basket, they should put the half moon in before they put the shot clock in, Coach Zimmerman. That's what happened.
I agree with you.
Colston Allen will replace Petty in the lineup.
A couple of stops, guys, a couple of turnovers. All of a sudden, a tie game becomes a 5-point lead.
Look at the foot angles. I'm shocked by that. They lead it with a foot.
Law had it tipped by Zaley.
I'm referring to the defensive foot angles by Brentwood. Now there's what can happen when you attack the high foot right there.
Law backed his way through a defender and finishes. Zaley splits the defense. Chance here, corner 3, short. The shots that Brentwood Christian was making in the first half, they have not been able to find the range on here in the third quarter. They have just 2 points since halftime. Law. The rebound for Richards. Another putback. and he'll head to the line.
This is the tipping point of the game right here, I think.
That was sheer will and determination by Noah Richards. He just wanted it that much more. And how about the fact that, guys, I had mentioned Gijana and Mosley on the bench. The lead has grown.
Richards misses the first. It's a 6-0 spurt right now.
Sometimes when your top players go to the bench, it gives some of the other guys that have kind of taken a second seat to step up and show what they can do, and that's what's happened for St. Thomas.
Again, so important. The key to success is the depth. Everybody likes to talk about the top 4 or 5 guys. 8 and 9 can be essential to winning championships.
Absolutely.
And when you can bring a guy like 6'6" senior Noah Richards off the bench, one of their best players the last couple of years, but battling injury, still very talented, he gets called for the foul here. But that just makes you that much better as a team. That's
ridiculous. They've been letting that go, too. I mean, they've been forearms shivering with 2 arms down here, and now they call that. You got to be consistent.
That's all you can ask for of an official. Consistency. Even be the only thing you are right now is consistently inconsistent.
Yeah.
Under 3 here in the third. 10-2 the advantage right now for St. Thomas Episcopal. Another foul.
I got to tell you, Mosley has now, Zealy has now multiple times used his offhand, especially his right, to shove off the defender. The refs are falling for it. They're calling it on the defender, but it's really him initiating the contact.
He's going to go to the free throw line, as that's now the 5th foul of the half, or of the period rather, on STE. Aiden Law is going to take a seat for a moment. I'm pretty sure he's the one who got called for the foul, but I think the reason he's taking a seat is he's holding his head. He got landed on by Zaley after all of the activity in the midcourt, and the foul was given in the aftermath of the whistle as they all went crashing to the floor. It was Aiden Law that was on the bottom of the pile, and Zaley, not intentionally, but just lost his balance and ended up falling on top of Aiden Law, and it was rear end on head smash, creating a sandwich on the floor. Law took a really hard hit, and he's still holding his head on that far side.
Very shaken up, talking to the trainers. And by the way, Ginshana is back in the game now, guys, playing with the 3 fouls.
Zaley hits them both this time, and the lead is 6. In the corner, the 3, Vatrochki. Tipped to Law. The putback won't go.
That was over the back. Obvious over the back.
Law is going to head to the line to shoot 2. The foul goes against Colton McLean.
That might be the only time I've seen Law not finish an easy bunny tonight. He's been making all the tough ones. That one he couldn't get to go before the foul.
Hey guys, just this is kind of off the subject a little bit, but when did you ever think in basketball you would see players wearing football girdles underneath their shorts? I mean,
protecting the thighs, yeah.
Yeah, and the rear end. A lot of them have the one that has the rear pad as well.
The tailbone pad?
The tailbone pad. You know, people say the game's not physical. Oh, yeah, it is.
I mean, I've seen some guys bring out knee pads this year.
I haven't seen that. But
I saw it and I went, what is going on? But you know what? If that means they're getting on the floor, go for it.
2:38 third quarter. Brentwood Christian outscored in this third frame, 12-4. What has St. Thomas Episcopal done well in y'all's mind to be able to? What are you guys trying to figure out? The 2 free throws from Zaley or Law? Law made them both. Zaley and Law made them both. 2 for 2 on both ends, 53-45.
Sorry, guys, to create the confusion. I fell asleep for a minute.
You're good. What do you guys like about what St. Thomas Episcopal has done, though, here in this third quarter to take control of the game?
Well, they're making shots, and they're still applying defensive pressure, and they do it really well. So they just need to keep doing that.
And now they come back with their best defensive lineup as Ginshana and Mosley have returned.
Zaley racing down the floor. What a finish. What touch from Marcus Zaley.
He's a pretty special player.
And again, it bears repeating, just a sophomore. This kid has a very bright future. Gachana traveled with it, no question.
I'll tell you what, he reminds me a lot of a young sophomore named Savion Wheeler, who was playing at Houston Christian and went on to star for the Kentucky Wildcats. There's a lot of similarities, except that he has a much bigger frame and he's taller than Wheeler.
Zaley just breaking down everybody, and another floater.
I know you don't like it, Earl, but that was a thing of beauty.
I'll tell you what I do like. I like when the ball goes through the net.
He's got 14 now on the day, and the lead's down to 4 with under 2 to play in the third.
But to your point, Earl, that could have been an easy charge candidate if he had stepped up and taken one.
Here comes Zaley again. Zaley to the tin, draws a foul.
He's just taking over. See, that's how you know there's a Division I athlete in the building. If you walk in and nobody stands out, guess what? Ain't nobody going to D1. But the the older law that's going to RGV, I mean, he stands out. I mean, those are Division I athletes.
And he's a sophomore in a state semifinal game, down 8, who has literally gone on his own 7-0 run, or 6-0 run, soon to be more. That's incredible to watch. And by the way, Savion Wheeler also won his state title that year for Houston Christian as a sophomore.
2-for-2 trip. He's got 16 on the day. He has the last 8 for Brentwood Christian. He is on his own personal 6-0 run to cut the lead from 8 to 2, 53-51 with 101 seconds in the third. Gachana picked up his dribble. Mosley, 16-footer. Every bit of the rim and down. And an offensive foul.
That's awful. I'm sorry. That was a terrible call. He split 2 defenders. One guy stuck the leg out, got his body on it. I do not understand how that is a charge.
Couple players for St. Thomas Episcopal petitioning that they should be shooting free throws here because that was the 5th foul. You don't shoot free throws on an offensive foul, so it is a sideline inbound.
Always helps to know the rules.
Law for 3.
Wow.
Aiden Law with the face-up triple, and the lead grows back to 7. Zerlinski galloping through the lane. 1 extra gallop.
Yeah, he traveled that time.
Yeah, but again, how's that different than the Eurostep? I don't get it. There is no difference.
.40 seconds in the third. After Brentwood had cut the lead down to 2, a chance for St. Thomas Episcopal to extend it back out before the end of the period. Law again! The lead is 10. Zaley picked up his dribble. 13 seconds up ahead for Best. Best. I don't know how that couldn't be an offensive foul.
Why not just kick it to the awaiting shooter in the corner? He's begging you to pass it to him. He's got his feet set. Over dribbling.
Best was just out of control.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that recently in the last few possessions.
the way they, the one negative, I guess you could say, to what Zaley was doing, it was a lot of dribbling going one on everybody to the bucket, and now his teammates have kind of picked up on that. That's not going to bring you all the way back.
Well, Coach Carr is giving him the business over there. He said the motions were kick it to the corner, avoid the charge.
I think Best is trying to argue, I was trying to pass it, I wanted to pass it, but the response from Carr, I think. Oh, look at this. Zerlinski with the steal. 5 in the period. Blew the layup, but gets the putback. A rather critical 2 points there from Zachary Zerlinski to end the period.
Mike, he said, give me the cookies and the milk.
61-53 as we head to the fourth. The TAPS 4A state semifinals on TAPS TV. We welcome you back to Waco. 8 minutes on the clock. 1 quarter away for one of these two teams from the state championship game. St. Thomas Episcopal outscoring Brentwood Christian 20-12 in that third quarter to take control of this game. Can Zaley find another comeback?
What
Misses
do you guys
the
think?
jumper.
First to 80 wins?
Could be.
Law got lucky to not travel with it there. Gachana, baseline, Aiden Law. Nathan Law with the rebound. No shot, offensive foul. They get him for the hook.
First of all, it was a walk. It was a travel, if anything, before the offensive foul. But
St. Thomas doing everything they can do to keep the ball away from Zaley right now. Zerlinski way too high off the glass. A chance
nice
here
move
for Petty, and he draws the foul.
I love all the shocked hand palms to the center. Yeah, you fouled him.
We've said a couple times this week, nobody ever thinks they actually committed the foul.
Yeah, that's true.
I know people that think they haven't fouled in 30 years. You ever play pickup basketball with a guy who acts like he has never fouled anyone?
Well, I don't play pickup basketball anymore, but yeah, I vaguely remember those days.
You never fouled anyone, did you, Coach?
Oh, yeah, sure did. I took a lot of charges, I tell you that. At 5'8", you got to be able to do that.
I believe it.
I turned 37 later this year. I've yet to be called for a foul that was accurate.
I knew that's the way you would feel, Mike. I knew it.
I don't commit fouls. What are you talking about? Underneath. Look at that from Law. Can't quite finish, though. Would have been magnificent. Now Aiden Law nearly had the steal. Now Brentwood Christian with numbers if they hurry. Zerlinski short-armed it. Gachana. Mosley for three.
Box of the shooter out.
Gachana and one.
Man, you got to box the shooter. He close out, box out. It's a two-edged sword.
I think the problem, Coach, on that was that Zerlinski could not get back. He fell down after that miss, and as he was trying to get back in transition, that's who the shooter ended up being, unfortunately. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
That's 5 on Blake Petty, and he'll have to take a seat. Bryson Best will come on in his place. Dustin Carr coaching real hard on the sideline to try and keep his own team composed. Gachana misses the free throw. The lead stands at 8. Zaley, what a move.
Yep.
He is more and more impressive with every possession.
And here we are in the fourth. Indefatigable. He just keeps going. He's got 18 now on the day.
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm going to need a thesaurus, a dictionary, and Google to understand that.
He's the Energizer Bunny. Does that work for you?
Oh, I love it. There you go, baby.
Nathan Law into the lane. Nope, travel first.
We're gonna rename Webster's the Mike Leslie Dictionary before this is done.
I thought that the first day. I was so lost. I had no idea.
Is that Hofstra education, Mike? They got big words at Hofstra.
Yeah, my vocabulary is rooted in the farm country of Iowa.
I'm from New York, but Mike's got to keep it simple down here in the South.
Those East Coast elites in their vocabulary. Zaley off the glass, can't finish. Under 6 to play, 6-point game. And I think we just saw Dustin Carr get teed up.
Is he giving him a warning or a tee?
Warning.
First
warning.
You know what? That's a good official.
Yep.
This is too important right now. Err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
Well, it's the official that comes to call angry that will call those. And I've had a few of those over the years where it's like, okay, if you don't want to be here, don't show up.
Nathan Law, baseline. The reverse won't go. It will stay on this end, tipped out by Brentwood.
Every possession is so important right now, and the runs that these teams make, you almost feel like if you don't score, the game could be over. I mean, literally, you talk about some teams in the last game struggling to score. All of that was going on. In this game, I still say get to 80.
Mosley in the corner. Gets it to Gachana on the post.
Good
put it under the underside of the rebound, underside of the rim rather, but the steal. Felkman gives it off for Gachana, and he'll go to the line.
And again, you saw what we talked about in the first half, right? Gachana's not as comfortable on that right side, and he's doing everything to get back to his left, and he couldn't get there, but he got a foul on that one.
You're also seeing Marcus Zaley show some of the sophomore in him in some of the dribbling decisions he makes. He'll learn how to avoid those situations as he grows as a player.
Timeout, Dustin Carr. 5:24 to play here in the fourth quarter. We'll step aside for a moment here from University High.
Get knocked down, you get back up. You get knocked down, you get back up.
At Children's Health Andrews Institute, we're here to turn your kid into a comeback kid.
You get knocked down, you get back up. You get knocked down, you get back up.
(63-57). St. Thomas Episcopal with the lead. One more free throw here for Gachana out of the timeout. 5:24 to play.
He made the first, correct?
He did not.
He did not make the first. Oh, God, I do have my mark here. Okay.
The second misses as well.
He's clearly not comfortable away from the lane with that shot.
In the corner, the three. Zaley with the weak side rebound and the putback.
Wow. What an athlete.
He's got 20 on the day.
Gentlemen, hop on my sophomore shoulders and I will carry you.
Gachana down the lane for the flush.
Right down Brentwood Main Street, guys.
Nearly lost out of bounds there by Zaley. Up ahead, Best tied up. Jump ball, possession arrow to St. Thomas Episcopal.
Well, they just attacked the ball. You can't say there's no design in what they're doing. I mean, this is coaching 101 on defense. I mean, just the players are so active on the ball. It's fun to watch. I love it.
The lead stands at 6. 4:43 to play. Brentwood's going to have to come up with some stops here down the stretch. Mosley for 3. Best with the rebound. Colston Allen, cross court, Zerlinski. Corner 3. Way long, Zerlinski with the offensive board. Allen for 3. That one will fall.
3-point game. I'm standing by what I said, guys. First 80.
Midway point of the fourth. A one-possession game. Berth in the title game on the line. Tipped away by Zaley. Long off the hands of Felkman. Zaley with a head of steam. Up ahead. Wow. Zerlinski lays it in.
What vision. What court vision. That's just gorgeous.
This entire run has happened with Ginshana going to the bench after that dunk, and now Coach Twine is trying to get him in desperately to the scorer's table.
Lead down to a point. It was 8 to start the fourth. The swat by Zaley, but a foul.
What else can he do, guys? He's going to walk your dog. He's going to help your grandmother across the street.
The foul goes on Bryson Best.
Coach, he's going to sweep the floor for you. Zaley does it all, and he's doing it as a sophomore.
Well, let Mr. Huckabee know from TAPS so that we can get him out here, because he's been doing the floor. So just you need to let him know that we got a sub.
I would not want to deprive the great Robert Huckabee of that very vital and important job.
We got to have a little fun in the broadcast every once in a while.
2 for 2, 3-point game. 67-64. McLean, hounded, able to get around his man. Bounce pass to Zerlinski for the lay-in.
Well, that's just beautiful basketball. Great passing by both teams, really. It's so fun to watch.
And, fellas, what's impressive here, it hasn't had to just be Zaley here lately. Now he makes the steal, though. Marcus Zaley, Euro step. Can't finish. Up ahead. Ripped from behind, right to Gachana, and he lays it in.
Well, that was great hustle.
Colton McLean looking like Usain Bolt, coming back, hustling on defense. But again, isn't it interesting? They cut it to one, Ginshana comes back in, and all of a sudden another little spurt. I don't think you can afford to leave that guy on the bench.
2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this basketball game. I don't think he'll sit again. A 3-point game. Timeout called by Chris Twine. What's the message right now for these two teams, fellas?
Well, I think maybe if St. Thomas can get another bucket or two, they might want to think about taking some clock. And Brentwood's just got to keep attacking. I mean, they've got to go.
Something I'd like to see, guys. I think St. Thomas, I get it. They're pressuring, they're speeding the game up. But some of these recent baskets that have come in transition for Brentwood have been a little too easy for my liking. I would like to see them drop back and really get into that half-court man pressure defense rather than opening up so much space for Zaley to work.
And that's the two-edged sword of full-court pressure.
Because like you said, Coach, the one thing you're not going to do playing that style is use clock.
Right.
Both crowds getting into it now. 2:40 left. Brentwood Christian ball. One possession game. The pressure from St. Thomas. Trapping all day. Zaley able to get set with the offense. One-on-one with Nathan Law. A pair of future Division I players head-to-head, and Zaley buries the triple in his face to tie the game.
And he's chirping. He's chirping at the defender too, Law.
Marcus Zaley is the best basketball player in the gymnasium right now. Ties it up at 69. In the corner, Mosley for the lead. Short. Rebound, Gachana. Up top, Felkman for the lead. Zaley to work again. Pull up three. Rebound, fought for, still loose. Gachana comes away with it. 1:40 to play. Law to his brother for three.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
90 seconds left.
Sherrod Mosley hanging on to Zaley for dear life right now.
Timeout, Dustin Carr.
I think there was a clear message from Coach Twine. Now is not the time to let that man touch the ball again. Full deny, no help, and he did a really good job for about 15 seconds there, forcing a timeout.
Winner of this game on to the title game. They will face Grace Prep, who won the semifinal earlier today against Trinity Christian, the number 2 team in the state rankings. Number 3 upsetting number 2, their third meeting of the year. Trinity Christian had won each of the first 2 by double figures. Grace Prep gets revenge and moves on to the title game. They await the winner of this one. 1:19 to play. The winner of this one is still very much undetermined. It'll be Zaley to throw it in. Down 3. Into Best. He's allowed to go across that line to make the catch, to complete the process of catching it. Zaley for 3 in the tie. Long and off the stanchion, out of bounds.
He's got a ways to go to have that shot. I know he made one, but
he could not believe how open he was either, coming off of that dribble handoff. He was shocked at how open he was, and he rushed it.
Yeah.
1:10 left.
One of the things that happens with a team that likes to, and I've had this experience, it's very difficult for teams that play up and down like this to slow it down and use clock. And that's when you know you have a really good team, when they can do both.
We'll see if St. Thomas Episcopal can do so right now. A minute to play.
And by the way, fouls to give if you're Brentwood.
Law down the lane, the foul.
They're not slowing down.
Law will head to the free throw line.
I think that was a good foul.
He's got 17 points on the day. Law, an 82% free throw shooter.
I said I think that was a good foul. And the reason I know that is because we're being told that from behind us. That was a really good foul.
Coach Garland not missing a beat. We've got a lot of incredible officials behind us.
Yeah. And coaches.
51.8. And as Law hits the first, it is a 2-possession game.
It's amazing how awesome it is and easy it is to coach from the bleachers.
1 for 2, but his own rebound. Law can't hit the putback. Zaley tips the rebound to himself. In transition, the 3 goes for Colston Allen. 1-point game.
Earl and Mike, that is a prime example Miss the free throw by law, offensive rebound, and I know it's hard, especially when you're 16, 17 years old, but you got to pull the ball out, run some clock, and make them foul you again. Instead, you go back up, you miss, and all of a sudden we go from a possibility of a 2-possession game, it's a 1-point game.
40.9 on the clock. The timeout hit real quick there by Dustin Carr after the bucket. Still work to be done, certainly for Brentwood Christian, down a point. But the big triple in transition, buried by Colston Allen, gives them a chance here late.
Yeah, they can't afford to get. Brentwood can't afford to give up an easy basket here.
I'm going to be fascinated here. Coach, what do? Do you try to use a quick foul here and put them on the line, extend the game, or do you play defense for about 5 to 10 seconds?
The 40 seconds, I think I'm going to play defense.
Next foul would put them at the free throw line. Inbound to Law. The 82% free throw shooter, but he just missed one. Felkman across the timeline. 32 seconds in the quarter. And the foul given, and they're going to send Gachana, a 63% free throw shooter, to the free throw line.
Brilliant foul by Brentwood. Gachana has looked very uneasy at the line tonight. I don't think you'd have anybody else you'd rather have at that line.
And it was very clear that was coached up in the timeout, because the moment he touched the basketball, they collapsed and gave the foul.
That's what I was going to say, is that was something they planned coming out of the timeout.
Gachana missed 2 earlier in the quarter. He misses there. It stays a 1-point game.
How important is the box out right now, guys? The box out if he misses this free throw.
He does. Rebound fought for. Zerlinski gets it off to Zaley. 25 to play. Underneath for the lead. And the foul. Colston Allen. Brentwood in front.
Marcus Zaley is becoming a legend in front of our very eyes. So many sophomores, Coach, I know you and I know, would have been so selfish and tried to do it themselves. He dishes off a dime that leads to an and one and gives his team the lead.
21.9 seconds left. Colston Allen with the last 5 points for Brentwood Christian. Make it 6, and the lead is 2. 75-73. St. Thomas Episcopal with 20 seconds to do something about it, and with 17.7, the timeout by Chris Twine.
Mike, you said it. Marcus Zaley is not only the best player in the gymnasium, I would argue right now he's one of the best players in the state of Texas with his performance today.
He reminds me of the young man I coached at Trinity, Larry Jackson. 6'2", 2-guard. Who could play the point, went on to Liberty and was all Big South 4 years, played over in Europe for a little bit. Now he works for Wells Fargo. He manages their farm rental equipment up in Iowa.
He's a sophomore.
Yeah, he's a sophomore.
That's why I said, it reminded me so much of a young Savion Wheeler when I saw him just playing so above what you would expect. They'd say, what's the greatest thing that happens to sophomores? They become juniors and upperclassmen. This kid is playing like he's been here countless times before.
Yeah. Maybe he's already a junior.
Tell you what, somebody's going to have to play one heck of a basketball game the balance of the day for me to not think that Marcus Zaley is the best basketball player in the state tournament.
I think he's the best we've seen over these first few days.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Like I said, when you walk in a gym and a player stands out like that, you know you got a Division I player.
17.7 out of the timeout, St. Thomas Episcopal. Gachana.
Good foul.
Fouled. That's going to send him to the line for 2.
I don't know if that's what they were supposed to do, but I like it.
I think it was, because it was an obvious reach and grab.
Gachana missed 2 a moment ago to give them the chance to take the lead. Now he's back at the line, needing to hit 2 to tie the game with 13.9.
I'll tell you what I would do here. I'd have Zaley down on the low block to box out and use his athletic ability.
And Gachana hits the first. After missing the first 4 attempts here in the second half, he hits there to make it a 1-point game.
All of a sudden, Rick Berry steps to the line.
To tie. No, but the putback for Law and the lead. 10 seconds left. Zaley up ahead with 6. Zaley to the 10. The layup won't go. The rebound for Law. 2 seconds left. The foul. Time expires. They're going to put time back on the clock here. Dustin Ray, the official, very quickly signaling, no, game is not over yet. They will put time back on the clock here, and Law will go to the free throw line, but it's Nathan Law with the putback off the free throw miss by Gachana to give STE the lead back in the waning seconds.
Yep.
I'm watching the replay right now, Coach, and I got to see what happened on this box out.
He just went right around him.
Non-existent.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Bryson Best could not hold off the incredible rebounding of Nathan Law. And it's the most important thing, right? We talked about it a moment ago. How important it is to box out off of this free throw.
Yeah, if you're gonna foul like they did, then you gotta just guarantee yourself the best chance to rebound. And I think that would have been done with Zaley down there on that side. I don't think Law gets that rebound if Zaley's over there.
0.5 left. Law with one more free throw. He hits it, 78-75. Zaley, full court shot, hits the ceiling, and it's over. St. Thomas Episcopal comes back to win it. And it's Nathan Law with the bucket in the waning seconds to give them the lead for good. Marcus Zaley, despondent as he walks to the other end of the floor, played an unbelievable basketball game, but comes up one bucket short.
If I'm Marcus Zaley, I am holding my head up higher than anybody in this gym and in the state of Texas right now, because without him, he did everything he could. He did everything he could, and his coach said maybe if he had been down there to box out, you have a different outcome, but that young man, I'm going to enjoy watching him. I see college coaches in here right now. I see an assistant from the University of Texas in here. I know he's got to have his eyes on Marcus Zaley.
He should.
He finishes with 23 to lead all scorers, but Nathan Law with 22. The bucket down the stretch to give him the lead.
You know what system that Zaley would fit into really well is what Marcus Smart does at Marquette. He would be a good fit in that program.
As an SMU alum, can we get him going into the ACC? Can we have our eyes on Marcus Zaley? That'd be great.
What a performance from that young man. Only a sophomore. We were joking about gambling earlier. I bet my paycheck we're going to see Marcus Zaley back in this state tournament in years to come.
Oh, and that Brentwood team is very young, so I obviously think they'll be back.
Bryson Best and Colton McLean, the only two seniors on the roster. Blake Petty, a junior. Colston Allen, a junior. Colston Allen with a couple huge shots down the stretch. The three-pointer to cut the lead to 1. The bucket and the foul to give Brentwood the lead.
And by the way, Mike and Earl, a note. This Brentwood Christian team, the two teams we saw before, Grace Prep and Lubbock Trinity, all moving up to 5A next year. St. Thomas will remain in 4A with the low. So these classifications are just getting tougher and tougher and tougher. And I like that Zaley's going to be playing on the 5A level because he's going to be one of the stars at 5A.
Let's hand it off to our public address announcer in-house, Billy Pritchett, as they hand out the Final Four medals and trophy to Brentwood Christian.
Congratulations again, gentlemen, on a great year of Final Four play. Please present the Coach Justin Perez and the Bears of Brentwood Christian School. And congratulations also to the Saints of St. Thomas Episcopal School, who will go on to play the championship match tomorrow. Congratulations, Saints, and
So, fellas, a tremendous performance by both of these teams. 23 for Zaley, 22, though, for Nathan Law. His brother Aiden Law also very good today. Mosley with his defense. It was a team effort for St. Thomas Episcopal to overcome the virtuoso performance that we saw from Marcus Zaley. But they do, and number one is moving on to the title game.
Yeah, just a really fun game to watch. And, of course, we saw one of the very, for sure, rising stars of Texas basketball, any classification, any league, UIL, TAPS, SPC, TCAL, TCAF, name them all. He's one of the best, if not the top one. I say again for folk out there, when you walk in a gym and somebody tells you there's a Division I player in there, if you can't see someone that stands out like that, there aren't any Division I players in the gym.
We will be talking about Marcus Zaley for years to come, the performance he just put on, and now I'd like to look ahead a little bit, fellas. The contrast of styles tomorrow between Grace Prep and St. Thomas. I mean, almost like we talked about Lubbock Christian and St. Francis yesterday, which is you're going to have to figure out a way to stop the transition, the incredible game plan that Coach Twine has with St. Thomas. And if there's one team that we saw that could slow down Trinity today, it's Grace Prep. And it's going to be a fascinating game because if that game's played in the 70s like we just saw almost to 80, you're going to go St. Thomas all the way. But if that game turns into the 50s, Grace Prep can easily match up and win a ball game like that, especially if they're hitting their shots.
Yeah, I just think Grace Prep has a tremendous job on their hands for sure.
Yes.
Hey, Coach Carr. Good
Coach,
job, buddy.
Heck of an effort, Coach. Seriously.
Yeah.
Coach Carr coming over to say hello.
Yes.
His team
very classy.
Just put a thrill into this gymnasium.
Yep.
And his young player, Marcus Zaley, has got an extremely bright future.
The best game we've seen, by far.
By far. I agree, Coach. And by the way, just want to say this. If I'm Coach, I'm feeling pretty good knowing that all these guys, minus a couple, are coming back next year because they will learn from this.
Oh, yeah.
And they will be so hungry. And I know I speak for Coach Garland. I learned more, at least I did. I learned more from my losses than I ever did from my wins, as much as I enjoyed them. And adversity in life is going to go very far for these young men from Brentwood.
It's very true.
We'll put a pin in it there until tomorrow in 4A. Grace Prep and St. Thomas Episcopal will play for the title tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Robinson High. Next up, the 5A semifinals. And first on deck, the North Semi, St. Mike's out of Austin, Midland Christian, coming your way at 2 o'clock here on TAPS TV. We'll see you then.